Hello and welcome back to another Football Commentaries live stream. It is time for the last 16 in the 2026 World Cup, and we have potentially got the biggest matchup so far ahead of us in Dallas as the 2016 European champions Portugal take on 2010 world champions Spain for a spot in the last eight. Portugal finished second in Group K after two draws to DR Congo and Colombia, and then with a 5-0 win to Uzbekistan sandwiched in the middle. This led to a round of 32 tie against Croatia, which was full of drama. Ronaldo's first World Cup goal brought Portugal back level after a Perisic opener. Then Gonzalo Ramos won it in the 94th minute, but that was only due to the Croatia equaliser in the 103rd minute being disallowed after the faintest of flick-ons from a cross, which led to an offside offence. Their last 16 show back in 2022 saw a 6-1 win against the Swiss, which is Portugal's biggest ever World Cup knockout win. Spain are also unbeaten in this World Cup and have been in their last 14 matches. After the shot goalless draw to newcomers Cape Verde, Spain have won their next three, including their round of 32 victory against Austria after a brace from Ayathabal and a first goal for Spain for Pedro Porro. Spain had not won a World Cup knockout match since their final in 2010 before the round of 32 tie, picking up 3 wins from their last 11 in this competition before the start of this World Cup. This is meeting 42 between two huge European nations who neighbour one another. The previous meeting was in the Nations League final back in June 2025 in Germany. It took penalties for Portugal to win that one after a 2-2 draw after 120 minutes. And in World Cups they have met in 2 previous editions where they played out a 3-3 draw in Russia in 2018, and then Spain beat Portugal 1-0 at the last 16 stage in South Africa in 2010 after a David Villa winner. So, for a chance to take on either USA or Belgium in the next round in Los Angeles, will it be Portugal and Ronaldo to carry on their mission for a first World Cup, or will Spain make it a third time a side has ever won the World Cup whilst being reigning European champions? It is probably on paper the biggest game of the World Cup so far. Portugal ranked 7th, Spain ranked 3rd. Of course, recent successes in the century for both of these nations. Portugal with the Euros win in 2016 against France with that Eder winner in the 110th minute. They've also won 2 Nation League titles in 2019 in the final against the Netherlands, and then in 2025 against Spain. For Spain themselves, they've won a World Cup this century in 2010. They've also won 3 Euros in this century, including one in 1964 as well. And they've also won a Nations League title. That was back in 2023 against Croatia. So these are 2 nations that are used to winning in recent history, and one of them will have to drop out of the World Cup tonight in the last 16 stage for Spain. Their last 2 World Cups have ended at this point of the competition. In 2022 in Qatar, they were beaten on penalties by Morocco. It was 0-0 after extra time, and then they lost 3-0 on penalties. And then in 2018 they were beaten by the hosts Russia, again on penalties. So it is a game where Spain will want to try and avoid a penalty shootout if possible. Portugal also got knocked out in the 2022 World Cup to Morocco. They got knocked out to them in the quarter-final stage. That was by 1-0 and a Nasiri goal in the 42nd minute. So it is a World Cup where both teams really need to take that next step, get to the last 8 and then look towards the latter stages. I mean, Portugal haven't got anywhere near the semi-final stage of a World Cup. They finished 4th in the 2006 World Cup. They finished 4th after losing the semi-final to France. But I mean, in general, Portugal haven't really turned up at World Cups. I mean, they finished 3rd in 1966 after losing the semi-final to England. But I mean, after the 1966 World Cup, they did not qualify for another World Cup until 1986 when they were knocked out of the group stage. And then after 1986, their next one after that was 2002 when they got knocked out of the group stage as well. And they've only made the knockouts on 6 separate occasions. 4 of their last 5 World Cups now, they have reached the knockout stages. So even though, of course, Portugal are stacked with talent right throughout their history, performing and turning up at World Cups hasn't always been their strength. And they'll be wanting to try and make it their strength this time around, because it could be a last dance for Cristiano Ronaldo, who's now 41 years of age. He scored his first World Cup knockout goal in the game against Croatia, where they were able to win 2-1 in the round of 32. They did go 1-0 down through Ivan Perisic in the 53rd minute, but Ronaldo's equaliser with 22 to play got them back level, and then off the bench Gonzalo Ramos made sure that they went through a 94th minute winner, but that was only due to the Croatia 103rd minute goal being disallowed. It was Gavardia who got it in the back of the net, but it was disallowed for an offside offence in the build-up. So it's going to be huge that both of these teams start well. I mean, for Spain, they're yet to concede in this World Cup, and their goalkeeper now, Unai Simon, has the new record for the longest time in World Cup history without conceding a goal. He's currently on 519 minutes. Huge record for Spain. And their goalkeeper just shows how solid they are being defensively. They are not being breached at the moment. They've not played, a very, well sought after attack yet. I mean, Cape Verde, in fairness, went on to look a lot more dangerous when attacking, but they played Saudi Arabia, Uruguay and Austria. I mean, this is their first proper test of playing the elite players in Europe. So it's going to be a huge task for both in both ways. So it's going to be a very interesting watch tonight as the game. He's been playing in Dallas at the AT&T Stadium, the home of the Dallas Cowboys. And it is just the third time that these two nations are playing one another in the World Cup, most recently in that 3-3 classic in Russia when they both were in the same group. They were in Group B. It was a Cristiano Ronaldo hat-trick that day, 1 of 10 that he has got for his country. It's his 27th World Cup appearance for Cristiano Ronaldo, 11 goals in his World Cup time, and like I said, the first one in the knockout stages in the last game against Croatia. It's just absolutely crazy. It took his 6th World Cup to score his first knockout goal, but as we were mentioning before, Portugal haven't got a great history at going far in World Cups. It's just not something that they've got a great history of doing. In terms of Spain, they've in recent times been really poor at World Cups. Last 16 in Qatar, last 16 in Russia, group stage back in Brazil when they were knocked out, when they were in a group with the Netherlands, Chile and Australia. And of course that was after they won the World Cup in 2010. It is crazy that they hadn't won a knockout game in the World Cup since 2010 before their round of 32 win against Austria, which by the way was very comfortable. It was a brace from Oyarzábal and also a first Spain goal for Pedro Porro, who again starts at right back. We'll go through both teams very quickly. It is Costa in goal, Cancelo, Diaz, Vega, Mendes as a back four, three midfielders of João Neves, Vitinha and Bruno Fernandes, and three up front of Neto, Felix and Ronaldo. For Spain, it is Simon in goal with Porro, Kubasi, Laporte and Cucurella at left back, three midfield of Rodri, Olmo, Pedri, and three up front of Yamal, Baena and Oyarzábal. They are the two starting 11s here in Dallas. It is going to be Portugal to be defending first. It's Spain to kick off, kicking left to right. It's Portugal right to left here in Dallas. It's going to be Spain to keep the ball with Aymeric Laporte at the back. To Kupasi, his centre-back partner, forward to Oyarzábal, who plays it back into Pedri. He's now with the right centre-back of Kubasi, be closed down by Fernandes, goes all the way back to his goalkeeper of Unai Simon on his 18-yard line in a full blue kit tonight for Spain. Completes a quick 1-2 with Pedri. And he's back with the goalkeeper, tries to kick it out towards the left-hand side. It's cut out there by Neto. Ruben Diaz back out wide right to Neto, turns away from his former teammate of Cucurella and tries to play it down the line, but it's just overhit, can't quite reach Bruno Fernandes, and that's going to be a goal kick for Spain as we're less than a minute in, and it's going to be Portugal who are going to look to try and catch out Spain in possession. They'll be wanting to have the majority of the possession if possible. I mean, Spain had 74% of the ball in their draw to Cape Verde. They ended up having 23 shots in that game, 8 on target, not able to breach Cape Verde's goal that day. Who had a heroic run to the round of 32 where they were beaten by the finest margins by current holders Argentina. Kubasi back to Unai Simon, who's just outside of his 18-yard area. It's back to Pau Kubasi again, the 19-year-old centre-half who's made well over 100 appearances already for Barcelona, as Porro gives it away. One back for Portugal, and there's a late challenge there on João Neves by Yamal. And that's going to be a free kick just in front of the halfway line on the near side for Portugal. Yeah, just caught him late there, Lamine Yamal, turning 19 next week. He's on the far side with Cancelo, tries to go forward, but Neto ran in behind and it allows Cucurella to take the ball away for Spain. It's Pedro on the halfway line who's just slowing the game down and trying to go forward if possible, but it's the easiest option to go back to Aymeric Laporte. It's now Baena going for a switch out to this near side towards the final third. He finds Lamine Yamal, who can't quite take it under control, goes under his boot, and that's going to be a throw-in in the left-back position for Portugal. Very uncharacteristic there of Lamine Yamal, not being able to trap the ball from the long diagonal switch from Alex Baena, currently playing his football at Atletico Madrid, joined in the summer for £50 million from €50 million from Villarreal. As it's Portugal who try and get the ball forward, but there's been a challenge in there by Oyarzabal on Vitinha, and Oyarzabal will go for a strike, and it's straight down the middle, an easy catch in the end for Diogo Costa in the Portugal goal. About 25 yards out, straight down the throat, comfortable save. But it was uncharacteristic, and Portugal have given it away again. Lamine Yamal with a pull back into the area, needs to be dealt with here by Vitinha, and it is. Clears it out for a throw for Spain on the far side towards the corner flag. Just a little bit messy from both in possession in the opening 3 minutes. There's a ball into the area by Baena, can't quite find Olmo, but Rodri wins it back off Fernandes. And it's with Rodri into the centre circle here with Kubasi. Not got loads of options with him. Goes forward to Yamal, who keeps it away from Mendes and is allowed to turn on the halfway line. The 18-year-old superstar Lamine Yamal, who tries to find a ball in behind for Porro, cut out though by João Felix. And it's going to be Portugal to just relax on the ball with their left-hand side. It's João Neves, the number 15, who just calms it down and plays it to the right centre-back of Ruben Diaz, who's making his 80th cap tonight for Portugal, the Manchester City centre-half, who now at the age of 29 came through the Benfica Academy. His last Portugal goal was around 2 years ago now against Finland. And here is Ruben Diaz. He's going to go for an audacious switch out towards the left-hand side, and it's foul Nuno Mendes, who couldn't quite take it in his path again. An uncharacteristic mistake, not being able to control the ball there, the PSG fullback. And it's a throw-in for Spain. Brought it down with the left boot, but then kicked it onto his right foot, which he couldn't quite slow down in time to take the ball under control properly. And it's a Spain thrown in a right-back position. Porro throws it to Olmo, goes into the area here to Kubasi, being closed down by Fernandes, gets onto his right foot and lifts it over the Portugal press up towards Oyarzabal, bounces off his shoulder towards Bruno Fernandes in the left-wing position for Portugal. Last touch off Kubasi to take it away from the Manchester United captain. That's going to be a throw-in for Portugal. Less than 5 minutes in, it's still goalless here in Dallas. No big chances as of yet. We have had a shot on goal though for Spain. Mikel Oyarzabal with a simple save for Diogo Costa to make. He's actually Spain's 6th all-time joint top goal scorer, Mikel Oyarzabal, with 29, as a long throw goes in from Nuno Mendes, headed the way up towards Oyarzabal, who can try and get it under control. He nods it out to the left to Baena, who can keep it away from one Portugal player, then shifted into the middle to Rodri, who plays it into the centre circle now to Dani Olmo. Slows it down as he's not got many runners in behind. Yamal tries the run. That opens up space to his right now for Pedro Porro to receive the ball. Back to Olmo. And now it's Rodri. Midway inside his own half now to Pau Kubasi. And now to Rodri in almost like a right-back position. The Ballon d'Or winner. It's Kubasi. Not a very relentless press here from Portugal, just allowing Spain to pass the ball around for now on the halfway line. They don't want to overtire themselves too quickly. Portugal chasing a lost cause as almost passes intercepted by Mendes. He was looking for Yamal. 10 yards away from the halfway line. It's Vitinha. It's now Renato Vega, the left centre-half, currently playing his football in Spain with Villarreal after joining in the summer from Chelsea for £26 million. His father, Renato Vega, is actually from Cape Verde. Mendes on halfway. He's going to try and switch out towards the right-hand side. Ronaldo leaves it as it drops to the feet of Cancelo. He's got Neto to his right. Cancelo in the corner of the box will go for a strike, and it's over the top of the crossbar. He's claiming a deflection there, João Cancelo. He will not get the corner by the referee for tonight, and that's Anthony Taylor, Premier League referee, 47 years of age, at his second World Cup. Also refereed in Qatar. So that's 7 minutes in. It's two early shots from both sides, but none of them really testing the goalkeeper. I mean, Diogo Costa had to save the Ayathabal strike, but it was right at him. Kubasi lifted up towards the halfway line. It's a header won by Renato Vega to his centre-back partner of Ruben Diaz, and it's Portugal who are on the ball. And it's the left centre-back of Vega. He's got options everywhere around him. He goes out to this near side to Bruno Fernandes. He's found a pocket of space, and he plays it inside 5 yards here to João Neves. It's now Vitinha, the two PSG boys linking up together. Back-to-back Champions League winners after winning the final on penalties against Arsenal, as it's intricate play from Portugal, but the flick from Felix can't quite find Fernandes, and it's now Spain to break away. Olmo, ball in behind for Ayathabal. Flag stays down for now. Ayathabal one-on-one, and he puts it wide. In the area, in the goal-scoring form he's in, you'd expect him to score that. But is he onside? That's the big question. Oh, he is. Vega sits deep, plays him onside. That is an almighty opportunity for Spain on the Ayathabal. Left-footed, went for the far corner, and he's dragged it a yard wide. Huge let-off for Portugal. That's a massive miss from the Sociedad man, who's got 4 goals in 4 World Cup appearances in the 2026 edition, with braces against Austria in the round of 32 and also in the group stage against Saudi Arabia. And I can't quite believe he's missed it, as at the other end it's Cristiano Ronaldo, 20 yards out from goal. Try to play it to the right-hand side, deflects backwards, but to Vitinha, who crosses. It will leave the area, but it will be kept alive here by João Felix. He's one-on-one with Porro, shifts it onto his right foot on this left-hand side. Stands up the Tottenham full-back. He flicks it into the area towards João Neves. He's been cut off there by Pedri, who's not been able to keep the ball in. And that is going to be a corner for Portugal on the near side. It's been a lively start to the game, and it should be Spain who lead. Huge chance for Mikel Oyarzabal to try and get his 30th Spain goal. He scored 18 in all competitions for Sociedad in the season, including in their cup final win against Athletic Club. Ronaldo's in there, being marked at the moment by Rodri. It's a right arm raised by Fernandes. It's an in-swinger to the near post. It's headed away by a Spain man. And all as far as a strike from afar for Portugal by Pedro Neto. But it's blocked and it cannons all the way back here to Cancelo, who goes to his goalkeeper of Costa, who will clear it long for Portugal. Deep into the final third towards Fernandes. The header's won by Porro, but then controlled by Fernandes. Won back by Rodri in a right-back position. Who plays it inside to Porro, then to his goalkeeper Simon, who just gets rid. Right-footed up towards the halfway line. It's an easy ball to deal with for Vega, who did have Yamal on his back, but he was able to shift it away from the 18-year-old. And it's Portugal on the ball. 10 minutes in, still goalless at 0-0. Ball through the middle, looking for Felix. It's intercepted, but falls to Vitinha. He's tackled. Loose ball falls to Cancelo. Now Vitinha. Pedro Neto on his left foot. Plays it back to Vitinha midway side the Spain half, who's got everyone behind the ball at the moment. Just in front of the centre circle, it's Renato Vega. 5-yard pass to his left now to Mendes. Creating a triangle as he brings Vitinha into play. Here's Bruno Fernandes. Heavy touch tackle by Rodri. Now Porro in a right-back position. Yamal back to Rodri. Flicks it to the head of Porro, who then tripped by João Felix. And that'll be a free kick for Spain. Well won there by Pedro Porro. As for Spain, they have qualified for every World Cup since 19 78 for Portugal. The last time they didn't qualify for a World Cup was back in 1998, where they went 3 in a row without qualifying from between 1990 to 1998. As Bruno Fernandes pickpockets Pedri, plays in Ronaldo, right side of the box. The angle is tight, step overs and a strike, and it's a save from Unai Simon, who can only pat it behind for a corner on the far side. A lot of losses of possession from both sides early on, especially in that midfield. Fernandes played it into the path of Ronaldo, who, with what he had around him, which was very little, he probably got the best result of winning a corner. Of course, he would have wanted it in the back of the net, but a corner will do for Portugal. They'll want to try and reward themselves with their set pieces and get this ball into the back of the net. Portugal have lost twice at this stage of World Cups, back in 2018 to Uruguay and also in 2010 against Spain. It's into the near post by Mendes, headed away by Ayathabal. And it'll be chased down here by Fernandes, who does have Pedri closing him down. Fernandes flicks over his head and plays it down the line. It comes off a hand, but advantage is played because it's dropped to Mendes, trying to run through the Spain midfield, but he's lost his foot in and he loses out to Pedri, who then is tackled by Vitinha, who then has Mendes in his way, and that means he loses out to Rodri. It's been very chaotic. It's been a bit of a messy first 12 minutes from both sides, but it's a sign that both teams are willing to be taking risks on the ball. It's Pedri forward to Yamal, back to goal, keeping it away from Mendes, trying to turn forward, but he's been tackled eventually by João Neves. But it's back on the halfway line with Spain, with Rodri going out to this far side to Cucurella. Back to Aymeric Laporte, who actually leaves it for Rodri, who was just stood in front of him. It's Kubasi, takes it beyond the halfway line. Goes forward to Yamal, returns it to Kubasi, then goes over the top here for Pedri. It's flicked away very nicely by Pedro Neto. João Neves into the middle of the pitch here to João Felix, who tries to get away from Rodri but runs straight into the number 16. And Spain win it back on halfway and try and get forward as quickly as possible. 13 minutes in Dallas, still 0-0. Olmo out to his left to Baena. He's got Cucurella on the inside run. Tries to go into Olmo instead, but it deflects back to Baena, who can't quite get it underneath the crossbar. Sends it very high, and that's going to be a goal kick for Portugal. Has scored in this World Cup, Alex Baena, and that was the only goal in their group game against Uruguay. Scoring it in the 42nd minute. Probably should have been saved by the goalkeeper, but Alex Baena won't mind. It was just his third goal for Spain, and it was his first since October 2024. Portugal go along up towards Felix. It's a header won by Porro, then headed back by Rodri. And Cucurella has to win the sprint race on Neto on the edge of the area, and he does. And he plays it across to Pau Kubasi, who made his debut for Barcelona just before the age of 17. And he was part of the Spain squad who won Olympic gold back in 2024. I mean, already racking up 128 appearances, Kubasi for Barcelona, at only the age of 19. And here he is on the ball, 5 yards inside the Portugal half, goes 5 yards to his right to Porro, then back into Kubasi. Pedri in the centre circle, couple of runs in behind, and then just decides to go simple to his left to Rodri. Baena, back to Rodri, just in front of the halfway line. Goes round the corner to Pedri. Out wide to Baena. He's got Cucurella in front of him from fullback. Baena keeps it, cutting the passing lanes off here. Portugal, especially Vitinha in that instance, following the angles of where Baena was trying to pass the ball. The press of Portugal have forced Spain to go all the way back to the edge of their 18-yard box. It's now with Rodri, born in Madrid, came through the Atletico Academy, leaving in 2013 for a spell with Villarreal before joining back to Atletico for a year. Before that move to Manchester City, Jamal loose ball, gives it to Fernandes. It's a flick into João Felix on this near side, who is able to get it back into his own half to keep the ball through Nuno Mendes, the number 25, who has made over 50 Champions League appearances now, the Portuguese left-back who's got beyond a couple of Spanish players and shifts it to his left to Bruno Fernandes, tries to return it over the top into the area. Can Mendes get there? No, he can't. The bounce just helps it through to Unai Simon. And Spain survived that slight scare. And Rodri now brings it forward beyond the halfway line. He's looking for a run in behind. That's a fantastic pass. Yamal in the area. Cuts inside. Lamine Yamal with the shot. It's saved by Costa. Second strike from Baena. It's another brilliant save. And it stays at 0-0. Spain again coming closest. Lamine Yamal with one strike into the far left corner. And then Costa parried it out to the opposite side. Then Baena tried to bend it into his far corner, which was the top right, over the head of Diaz. And he just was able to get his right hand over to parry that out for a corner. Brilliant piece of goalkeeping by Diogo Costa. Looking for his 20th Portuguese clean sheet. He's only kept 3 in his last 10. And 2 of them have come in this World Cup to Uzbekistan in Game 2 and also in Colombia against Colombia in Game 3. 16.5 minutes in. It's a right arm raised by Baena. It's going to be an outswinger from the right boot. In the box it goes. It's a header away on the 6-yard line by Diaz. Controlled by Yamal. 25 yards out. Dinks it to the far post to Cucurella, who helps it back in, and it goes all the way through. It's going to be kept alive by Dani Olmo on this right-hand side. Back into Yamal. Corner of the box. Left-footed. Fantastic delivery. It's a brave header from Diaz. Away. Only as far as Baena, who tried to nod it back out wide to Yamal, who thought he was offside, so left it. And it will roll for a throw-in for Portugal on this near side. It's been a lively start to this last 16 match. It's been an intriguing watch so far. Spain probably with the biggest chances with that 1-on-1 miss by Yathabal. And then the double save forced by Yamal and Baena from Diogo Costa. There's Nuno Mendes just swapping his shirt. Not sure why, might be a rip in his previous one. There's Nuno Mendes. Is at his second World Cup. Scored in the 5-0 win against Uzbekistan to make it 2-0 in the 17th minute. Throwing down the line, headed away by Kubasi, helped on by Rodri, on as far as Mendes. João Neves. Back it goes into Diogo Costa, just in front of his 18-yard box. Clips it towards the right-hand side to Cancelo. Chests it down, but it's heavy. Collected by Cucurella. To Rodri in the centre circle. Plenty of time on the ball for the Manchester City player. Goes out wide left to Baena. He's got Cucurella again on the inside run. Try to play it to him into the area. Has he overhit it? No, he hasn't. Ruben Diaz slides across the tackle. And then Pedro Neto's caught by Baena. And that will be a free kick in a right-back position for Portugal. A well-won free kick there by Pedro Neto, just to ease the pressure there, because Spain were building some momentum. Fantastically timed slide tackle, though, just beforehand by Ruben Diaz, who is of interest of Real Madrid, but he did sign a new contract with Manchester City in August last year till 2029. Was on the bench for the first game, Ruben Diaz, but he's played every minute since. Big kick forward, up towards Ronaldo, who we've not really seen much of in the opening 19 minutes. Kubasi kicks it up into the air, up towards Ronaldo, header won by Rodri. Chested down by Yamal into the middle of the park here to Pedro midway inside his own half. Keeps it away from Fernandes. Pedro drives forward with the ball. Not many options around him. Tried to go forward to a Yathabal. Cut out by Vega. It's now Cancelo at right back. Back into Ruben Diaz at right centre half. Forward to Vitinha. Back to Diaz. It's slightly short. Just about keeps it moving ahead of the tackle from a Yathabal, who's got an Olympic silver medal to his name back in 2021. Scored 3 and 6 in that tournament. This is his first World Cup, as he missed the Qatar World Cup at Yathabal due to an ACL injury. João Neves on this near side. 10 yards inside the Spain half. Going back into his own half now for Mendes. Forward to Vitinha. Here's Mendes. Ronaldo. João Neves to Vitinha. João Neves again in the left wing position. Shielding the ball away from Rodri. Going back into his own half to Mendes to keep possession. Inside it goes to Vega, just ahead of Yamal, who was trying to close down quickly to win it in a high area for Spain. Here's Pedro Neto, cutting inside onto his left foot. Quick 1-2 with Cancelo. Then back down the line for João Cancelo. Into the area for Fernandes. Flag stays down, returns it to Cancelo in the area. Left-footed shot over the top of the crossbar, but the flag goes up for offside. So it wouldn't have stood if Cancelo could have kept the shot down. He's not scored in any of his last 10 that he's played in for Portugal, João Cancelo, but does have 12 in 72 for his country, which is quite an impressive record, really, for a fullback. 20.5 minutes in. Spain on the ball. Kubasi forward to Olmo. Pedri midway inside his own half. Keeps it away from Diaz, who's tracked him all the way. He'll have to try and drop back into his centre-half position, which he has done. It's now Rodri to Pedri in the centre circle. Shifts it 10 yards on the angle to his left to Olmo. Forward to Baena. Back into Olmo. Oyarzábal thought about the running behind. Olmo keeps it simple to Pedri. Olmo. He's got Cucurella out wide. He feeds it to him via the ball through to Baena. Olmo again through to Baena. Keeps it away from Cancelo. Middle of the park now to Rodri. To his left to Pedri. Turning away from João Neves, who seems to have been everywhere so far in the opening 21 minutes. Here's Aymeric Laporte. Looking for the running behind. There's a foul off the ball there as Baena was dragged to the ground by Cancelo. And that's going to be a free kick in the final third for Spain on the far side. Laporte signalled for the run to be made. Baena made it and Cancelo stopped him illegally. And that's a rightly given free kick from Anthony Taylor, the referee, who is one of 52 referees that were chosen to officiate in this World Cup. And it will be the man who won it to take it, Alex Baena. Featuring in his first ever World Cup, the 24-year-old. As he delivers it right footed, a header away again from Portugal, from Bruno Fernandes, and a volley by Porro Cannons off the head of his own man of Marc Cucurella. And that'll be a goal kick for Portugal, who played in their last 32 tie as we go for a hydration break. 22.5 minutes in, still goalless here in Dallas. And in that last 32 game against Croatia, it did mark the 1-year anniversary of Diogo Jota's death, which the Portugal team dedicated that victory to. Martinez, before the tournament, said that Diogo Jota's spirit, strength and example are the +1 and will always be the +1. Just shows that he will always be with them, watching them, guiding them through. And they'll be doing it for him. I think he was definitely one of the more underrated players within world football, Diogo Jota. Just a lethal, clinical goal scorer, just knew how to find the back of the net, which is the hardest thing in football to do. And that must have been a very difficult day for those Portuguese players on the 1-year anniversary, but they came through and got the victory against Croatia, which got them through to the last 16 as they look to try and get to another quarter-final like they did in Qatar. Last time they reached the semi-final was back in 2006, where they took on France, and that could be who they take on again, because they are on the same side of the draw. We've had Spain with 3 big chances for Oyarzábal, who put it wide on a 1-on-1, and then a little bit later Yamal had a shot save, then Baena had his shot save. That was a very impressive save by Costa, flying across and saving with his right hand. So a couple of minutes for the hydration break, and then we're going to get back underway. It's been an interesting first half so far here in Dallas. As for Portugal, they have lost just 1 in their last 17, and that loss came in their Nations League quarter-final first leg when they lost 1-0 to Denmark back in March 2025. I mean, for Spain, they're unbeaten in their last 14 since that defeat on penalties to Portugal in the Nations League final last year, where it ended 2-2 and then lost 5-3 on penalties. It's been an amazing run for Spain. They've actually only lost 3 times in 45 games under their current head coach, Luis de la Fuente, the 65-year-old. The 3 losses to Portugal in June 2025, lost to Colombia in March 2024, and then also lost to Scotland back in March 2023. And then for Portugal, they've lost 6 in 44 under their head coach, Roberto Martinez, who is, of course, Spanish-born. The 52-year-old won his first 11 in a row in charge of Portugal, and he's had a hold of 2 golden generations now. He was the man in charge of Belgium, where they struggled to make it to the final of the World Cup. They finished 3rd in 2018 after beating England in the third place match, but then were knocked out of the group stage, Belgium, under Martinez in Qatar, in a group with Canada, Morocco and Croatia. So a lot of stuff to prove on both sides of the story tonight as we're back underway with Portugal with the goal kick. Ruben Diaz from right centre-back playing it down the right channel up to the halfway line as Cucurella has to try and defend against Neto. Cucurella gets there first, sends a touch back towards his own goal and just about reaches it ahead of Neto. Slides in and plays it back to his goalkeeper Unai Simon, who had a disappointing season at club level. Athletic Club Bilbao finishing in 12th position in La Liga. Someone who had a bit more of a disappointing season was Pedro Porro, just about avoiding relegation with Spurs. His pass deflects and it's out for a throw-in for Spain on the near side. Midway inside the Portugal half with the number 12, Pedro Porro. Throws it back into his own half here to Pau Kubasi. Here's Unai Simon in the D on the edge of the 18-yard box. Taking his time with the pass. Rodri comes 5 yards closer to him. But then he sends it forward to the halfway line. Misplaced. Picked up by Mendes. Played forward to Fernandes, who lifts it back out to Nuno Mendes on this near side. He's tackled by Yamal. Last touch off the Spaniard. And that'll be a throw-in just in front of the halfway line for Portugal on this near side. In front of the two technical areas. Nuno Mendes throwing it long down the left-hand side. It's a header away by Porro. Up towards Diaz for Portugal, who rises and heads in. It's brought down by João Neves. Lifted to the left-hand side now to Bruno Fernandes. Into a more central area for Vitinha. Switches it to the right with a curling ball. It bounces and it's controlled by Cancelo. Ronaldo drops in to get a few touches of the ball. Something he's not had many of early on. It's Pedro Neto. Back towards the halfway line to Ruben Diaz. Into the centre circle now with Vitinha, who spent 1 year on loan at Wolves back in the 2020-2021 season. Now made over 200 appearances for PSG since joining in July 2022 from Porto for £35 million. Halfway line, far side, it's Diaz. Plays a ball forward to his former club teammate of João Cancelo at Manchester City. Here's João Neves. Gets away from Rodri, but then he's tackled by Baena. Loose ball drops away Athabal. Rodri now into Olmo in the centre circle. Trying to play in behind for Yamal. Will he get there? It's a vital sliding challenge from Vega. And just before the 18-yard box, he stops Yamal going in through one-on-one. Very important from Renato Vega in his first ever major tournament for Portugal. He's played every minute so far and also won the penalty, which was scored by Ronaldo to get it all square in the round of 32 against Croatia. It's a diagonal switch brought down by Neto brilliantly. And that's going to be a free kick for Spain because Anthony Taylor said that Pedro Neto chested it onto his hand. So that'll be a free kick for Spain. Let's have a look. It's a slight glance off the hand, but it does come off the hand. So a free kick given to Spain less than half an hour in. Still goalless, but both teams certainly not resting on any laurels. They're going right for this game, taking it by the scruff of the neck. Lamine Yamal, he's got Pedro Porro overlapping and plays it to him just outside the area. Goes for the cross. It's a sliding challenge from Mendes to block it out. And that's a corner on the near side for Spain. Really turned on the engine there. Pedro Porro was bursting down the right-hand side and almost worked across into the area, but was stopped by Nuno Mendes. It looks like it might be another out-swinging corner from Alex Baena. He spent 14 years of his career coming through at Villarreal before leaving last summer for Atletico Madrid as he goes short to Olmo. Back on the angle here for Baena. Works it to Yamal. In a central area now is Pedro Porro, who clips it out to the left-hand side to Cucurella. Back it goes into Pedri. 25 yards out. Crosses the ball into the area. It's saved by the goalkeeper and the header on the rebound is put wide by Olmo. There's no flag. And again, Spain spurning a massive opportunity. Pedri with the delivery. I think Olmo would have been offside. But it wasn't him going through for the ball for the original cross. It was Kubasi who got closest. Costa spread himself and got something to it, but played it straight to the head of Olmo, who could only put it wide of the left-hand post. It remains 0-0. Spain certainly had the bigger chances so far, and probably should have scored as Laporte leaves the late one on his former club teammate of Cristiano Ronaldo at Al Nassr. Will definitely want to be more involved in the game as the match goes on. Cristiano Ronaldo, age 41 now. He's got 4 goals in his previous 10 against Spain, scoring a hat-trick in that 2018 World Cup group stage game in Russia, and also scored 1 in that Nations League final in the last meeting over a year ago now. In that game he made it 2-2. Thank you to everyone who was here. If you could like and subscribe, that'd be fantastic. Still goalless here in Dallas as Yamal wins it back off Mendes, but then on the recovery he wins it back but pokes it towards his own goal where Fernandes has had to shrug off the challenger Rodri and clear it up to the halfway line where it's a slice clearance backwards by Laporte. But thankfully there was no one near him to punish, and it's gone back to Unai Simon, who picks it up in his 18-yard box. Not seen as a back pass because it certainly wasn't a back pass. It was a completely miscued clearance from Laporte. And he rolls it out to Rodri, and Spain will build out from the back just before the halfway line here with Pedri rolling it into the Portugal half to bring Pau Cubarsí into play. In between the lines, lucky for Olmo. Key touch there by João Felix. And he goes through to Diogo Costa. And it's now Portugal's turn to play out from their 18-yard box. Here's Diogo Costa, title winner with Porto in Portugal last season. Goes up towards Ronaldo, header won by Laporte. All the way through to Veiga, who just takes out of his 18-yard area on the left-hand side, clips it forward to the halfway line. Touchdown by Felix, brings in Bruno Fernandes, who's tackled by Porro, and then he plays it into the middle now to Rodri. On once more to Pedri. Slows it down and plays it into Cubarsí, and it's Spain once again on the ball, wanting to slow things down and get things under control. Qualified unbeaten Spain. And they're still unbeaten in this World Cup. 3 wins and a draw so far. It's on the far side. It's Baena. He's got Cucurella with him. Goes into a more central position out to Pedri. Out to the right side to Porro. Here's Yamal in the final third. He's 1-on-1 with Mendes. Lamine Yamal. Will he go left foot or right foot? He'll play it through into the box here to Olmo, who will swipe it across goal, and no one's committed. And it's cleared from Cancelo. Should have been tapped home really by Athabal, who's put on a plate for the 29-year-old, but he was just left flat-footed. And it allowed Cancelo to clear. And Spain are really putting the pressure on now, knocking on the Portugal door. Baena inside the box on the left-hand side. He's got Cancelo to beat. Turns back. Feeds Cucurella. Now Laporte on the angle, forward from centre-half, 25 yards out from goal. Back down the line to Baena. Shit onto his right boot and crosses into the penalty spot where it's headed away by Veiga. Controlled by Porro. Here's Rodri to Pedri. Back out wide left to Laporte. Not much on, but he tries to switch to Yamal. To Ayathabal, sorry. And here's Rodri to the right to Porro. He's got Yamal furthest wide right, and he'll use him. Everything to his left now for the youngster. Here's Pedri driving forward into the area. Back out of the box now to Yamal, who enters it, and he stopped in his tracks there by Mendes, who then is slide tackled by Yamal, and that's gone against him as a foul. Looked like a clean challenge from Lamine Yamal to me on João Felix. Not quite gone into gear properly yet. Lamine Yamal, who's making his 30th Spain appearance. Made his debut against Georgia back in September 2023, a game which he scored in at the age of 16 years, 1 month and 28 days. An absolutely incredible talent, Lamine Yamal, as Portugal try and play out from the back. It's Renato Veiga right towards the corner flag. He's just about able to clear it, but he's off balance, and it's straight out of play for a throw-in for Spain, midway inside the Portugal half. From back to the halfway line to Pau Cubarsí, whose first language is actually Catalan, so at times does struggle with communication with his Spanish teammates because he doesn't completely speak Spanish fluently. Pau Cubarsí is more fluent in the Catalan language, which I found was an interesting fact, as he tries to play it in behind for Ayathabal. Quickly off his line, Diogo Costa to collect, and it's Portugal to have it. 10 minutes to go until half-time. Portugal 0, Spain 0. Spain with the bigger chances, but Diogo Costa's been in the way so far on multiple occasions to stop the ball going into the back of the net. And still Spain are yet to concede in this World Cup. It's throwing for Spain on the halfway line, far side. Here's Pedri. Got But Kubasi to his right plays it to him and he enters the Portugal half. He's advancing with right strap in along his right hand. Keeps it simple back inside to Pedri. Out towards the left-hand side. Yatabal touches paw. He's been pickpocketed by Neto. Now he's played to João Neves. Into Cancelo at right back. Being closed down by Cucurella. João Cancelo left-footed. Ball into the middle. Very well found there, Vitinha. Then forward to Ronaldo, who needs to hold it up. And he does. Playing it back to Renato Veiga, the centre-half. And then back forward to Ronaldo towards the left-hand side. On once more here to João Felix. Gets away from one challenge. Then plays it inside to Vitinha. Wants to try and keep the ball moving, and he will. Here's João Neves. To the right side here to Cancelo. Forward to Bruno Fernandes. Can they open up some space? Bruno Fernandes thought about the cross, fakes it. Shifts it forward here to Neto in the final third. Onto his left foot. He delivers the ball into the back post towards João Felix, who gets the header. It's saved, and Ronaldo on the rebound. It's caught by Unai Simon. Just couldn't quite generate the power as he was falling to the ground there, Cristiano Ronaldo. But it's Portugal who have created their next chance of the game. It was an important header from João Felix to get it back across goal, and then 6 yards out, Ronaldo just tried to find it towards goal, and he was able to get a shot on target, and he did well to do so, kind of back to goal, trying to almost overhead kick it into the net, but it was saved by Unai Simon. And we've just had a stoppage here as I think João Felix just fell into the advertising boards as he won that header to put it back across goal. So we'll just stop him for a brief moment. And now the boots off for Pedro Neto. So there's an issue with the Chelsea winger who cost them £54 million from Wolves. He's only scored one Portugal goal since late 2024, and that came in one of the warm-up friendlies to this tournament against Nigeria, where Portugal were able to win by 2-1. Bit of ice being rubbed onto the left arm of João Felix, who fell into the advertising board, and then there's also a problem for Neto. That's why there's a stoppage to the game, so we'll probably get about 5 minutes of added on time. Pedro Neto with his right boot off with those kind of bright pink boots at the front, and then it kind of eases off into a white colour towards the heel. But plenty of action so far in this opening 38.5 minutes. It's actually a ripped boot from Pedro Neto. That's why he had it off. That heel, it looks like it's torn. But he's not been able to swap his boot. Neighbouring countries, Portugal and Spain. 389 miles between the two capitals of Lisbon and Madrid. And we're back underway. João Felix on this near side, caught late by Porro. Free kick for Portugal, midway inside their own half. It's a late one, and he understands that. Pedro Porro apologises to the referee, Anthony Taylor. Has looked lively when on the ball, João Felix, the man who once cost Atletico Madrid £130 million back in 2019. Left Chelsea last summer to go to El Nasser for £43.7 million after a pretty dismal spell at Stamford Bridge as the ball switched to the right-hand side and a corner's been won by João Cancelo, kicking it off Alex Baena. And it's a set-piece opportunity for Portugal with 5 minutes of the 45 to play. Looks like it's going to be an in-swinger potentially by the Portugal left-back Nuno Mendes. And Pedro Neto's going to get a new right boot to put on. As they swarm the 6-yard area here, the Portugal players. Anthony Taylor, the referee, just having a couple of words again. Pedro Neto still got the hole in his boot on the heel, so he's obviously not swapped the right one, I'm assuming, because you can clearly still see the hole in the back of that right boot as Mendes goes short to João Felix, who is allowed to get onto his right foot, plays it into the corner of the area to Mendes, left-footed strike which is deflected onto the crossbar, and away it goes for a throw-in. The closest that Portugal have got so far, and Nuno Mendes trying to score his second World Cup goal of this campaign. Left-footed rocket which cannoned off the head of Porro onto the crossbar and away. A let-off for Spain. On this near side, the man who just hit the crossbar is going to be launching a long throw-in into the area. Mendes with the throw, chested by João Neves. The referee wants the throw-in retaken because there was something he saw that he didn't like before it was taken there, Anthony Taylor. So he's going to lock it and load it again here, Nuno Mendes, for another long throw. He actually goes short back to Vitinha, who returns it to Nuno Mendes, who can left foot cross it to the near post. It's been dealt with momentarily by Pedri, and now Porro pokes it to Yamal, gets away from one challenge, and then a second of Diaz. Lamine Yamal, can he release it? He can out to the left-hand side to Baena. It's just gone behind him, which has slowed down the attack as Baena gets in front of Bruno Fernandes. Still acts Baena. Big slide challenge from Cancelo. Straight to Cucurella. Inside to the middle of the park now to Rodri. Forward in between the lines for Yamal. On the edge of the area. Has he been tripped? No, he's not. Referee says that the man won the ball. That's gone through to the goalkeeper of Diogo Costa. He's actually Swiss-born, the Portugal goalkeeper. Parents are Portuguese and they moved back to Portugal when Diogo Costa was at the age of 7. Last December, signed a new 5-year deal with Porto till 2030. Played every single minute in qualifying. Portugal's number 1. Here he is on the ball, just inside of his 6-yard area. Goes 10 yards to his left to Renato Veiga. Forward to Vitinha, allowed to turn forward. And plays it here to João Neves, and out wide left to Bruno Fernandes, who's played it over the top. As Vitinha's continued his run, he gets beyond Laporte, but Laporte heads the ball away. It's going to be kept in by Pedri. Loose touch, won back by Bruno Fernandes. Into the middle to Ronaldo. About 30 yards from goal. Chops away from one challenge and gets away from Olmo. And then plays it back to the halfway line to Veiga. Forward to João Neves and then back to Diaz once more. That's well won back and well kept by Portugal. Plays it through to the right-hand side. Here's João Cancelo, the 32-year-old. Links up with Neto. Lays it off behind him to Vitinha. Back once more to Diaz. Across to Veiga, just inside the centre circle. 5 yards to his left to Bruno Fernandes. Then returns it to Veiga. Keeps it away from the press of Oyarzabal. Nuno Mendes trying to drive forward. Slide challenge from Yamal. Can't quite keep it away from Mendes, but then the poke challenge from Porro wins it back for Portugal. Here's Veiga. Down the line for Nuno Mendes. Left-footed ball. It's an early one looking for Ronaldo. It's well caught on the 6-yard line by Unai Simon. And it's going to be Spain to try and possibly counter. He's kept it in his grasp and then rolled it to the edge of the 18-yard box here to Aymeric Laporte. Rejoined Athletic Club Bilbao last summer from Al Nassr. It's his third stint at the Spanish club. Born in France, Aymeric Laporte, but moved to Spain in 2010 and was able to gain himself Spanish citizenship. Olmo feeds it to the left-hand side here to Alex Baena. Back to Cucurella. Here's Dani Olmo, midway inside the Portugal half. Goes back 5 yards to Laporte. Slowly brings the ball forward. Taps it forward to Pedri. And then back it goes to Laporte. In between the lines for Olmo. Allowed to turn and play the ball into the area. Oyarzabal onto his left foot. Can't quite work the shot. Kicked away by João Neves. All as far as Rodri, who from afar will strike. And he gets under it. And it's way over the crossbar. And 6 minutes have been added on here by Anthony Taylor, the referee, here in Dallas. Holds over 70,000 supporters. Dallas Stadium. It is going to be hosting the semi-final of this side of the draw. So that could contain one of these two sides. And also the likes of France as well. Cancelo with the throw just inside the Spain half. Throws it forward to Pedro Neto. Tries to return it to Cancelo, and he does, and then Cancelo goes back to Neto. Now Vitinha into the centre circle to João Neves. Keeps it away from Yamal by lifting it over his head, and it's now with João Neves, who's got Mendes slowly overlapping, but then he dinks it over the top instead for Ronaldo in the area. Can't quite beat Unai Simon to the ball, and he rolls it out quickly to Pedri. Middle of the park, he's got options left and right. Pedri goes 5 yards to his left to Rodri. Now it's Alex Baena on the far side. He's got Cucurella with him, who makes a run beyond him, doesn't use him until now. Cucurella back into Baena. Olmo. Porro as they try the right hand side. Porro lifting it over the top for Yamal. Controls it and strikes it and miscues it. Was offside anyway, but that goes wildly wide from Lamine Yamal. Clever ball from Porro. And it was a run from outside to in from Yamal, and he'd just gone early. Was offside, wouldn't have counted. Spain win it back on the far side. Poor keeping of possession from Portugal. Olmo round the corner for Oyarzabal, who's tackled by Cancelo, but the play's pulled back after a foul on Olmo. Caught as he played it round the corner. Caught in the back there by Ruben Diaz. So Spain finishing the half, the stronger side at the moment. Played 2.5 minutes of the 6 added on. The right foot of Baena is stood over it. Yamal walks away. So it will be crossed in by Spain's number 15. He's got his right arm out. And he dinks it towards the back post where Roger will keep it in and volley it towards goal. And Laporte had his shot blocked by the head of Vega, but there was a foul in there that Anthony Taylor's given favour of Portugal. That's going to be a free kick for Portugal. It's just inside the 18-yard box. It's going to be taken by Diogo Costa. He will clip it out towards the left-hand side, just beyond the halfway line. It's over the head of Fernandez. Can't be kept in by Felix, and that's going to be a throw-in for Spain. Taken quickly by Porro to Rodri. Goes back to the edge of the area now to Kubasi. Forward to Pedri. He's got Vitinha on his back. Goes back into Kubasi. And then across to his left to Laporte in the defensive third for Spain. Gets rid of it. Big kick forward down the left channel. It's an interesting ball. Baena. Can he get there at a Cancelo? No, he can't. Good use of his strength there by João Cancelo. And Portugal can defend that attack. 2 minutes left of the added on time to play here in Dallas. It's Portugal 0, Spain 0. Chances for both sides, but neither are yet to find the back of the net. João Neves into João Felix. Ball over the top down the left-hand side. It's poor. It's applauded by Fernandez, which is rare. Praising a teammate despite the pass not quite being what it was meant to be, with it going out of play. Portugal, just the one defeat in qualifying. That was in that 2-0 away defeat to Ireland. 2 Troy Parrott goals and the Cristiano Ronaldo sending off, his first and only for Portugal for the 41-year-old. Laporte trying to play the ball forward. Bit of miscommunication between him and Oyarzabal. That's a throw for Portugal with a minute left to go in this last 16 tie. The last time these two met in the last 16 game in the World Cup was back in South Africa 2010. It was a 1-0 win for Spain. 63rd minute, David Villa goal. There's a ball down the right channel. João Felix pulls down Porro in the area, and that's going to be a free kick for Spain. Well, won there by Pedro Porro because João Felix could have been in on the goalkeeper. Yeah, grabbed the arm, pulled him down. Right decision by the referee. We've got 30 seconds left to go. The free kick to be taken by the goalkeeper Unai Simon, who was born in the capital of the Basque Country. Been at Bilbao in his second stint now for the last 10 years. Big kick goes forward, down the left channel for Spain. It's gone through to Baena, who's controlled it and kept it in on this far side. Tries to play it into the area for Oyarzábal. It's well blocked off by Diaz. It does bounce out for a throw-in for Spain. Do they have chance to take it? No, they've run out of time. Anthony Taylor blows the whistle. And that is half-time here in Dallas. It's Portugal 0, Spain 0. Chances for both. Huge one-on-one opportunity for Mikel Oyarzábal early on, and it was a chance which was put past the post. Really should have done better with it. Ronaldo's had a few sniffs at goal, forcing a save by Unai Simon at the near post, and there was a double chance for Spain. A shot curling into the top left corner by Yamal was saved by Costa, and then a shot from the save of the original shot from Baena, which was curling to the top right corner. That was an even better save by Costa to keep it level at 0-0. Portugal have also hit the crossbar as well. Nuno Mendes from a corner being played the ball back after he was the original taker, cannoned off the head of Porro onto the crossbar and away. Both teams well in the game, both teams making mistakes, but both teams creating chances. It's very even. It could go either way. It's going to be a very interesting second half. But after the first half here in Dallas, it is Portugal 0, Spain 0. You can tell it's two top teams facing one another. The quality is certainly there in that aspect, but there has been lapses of concentration where the ball's been given away cheaply, but neither have quite been able to take advantage of any of those mistakes at the moment. It's leading to a very cagey second half where whoever scores the first goal will have the utmost belief they can go on and win the game. I feel like one goal could be enough in a game like this. I mean, Spain still haven't conceded in the entire tournament, and in fairness to Spain, they've not conceded in the World Cup since their last group stage game in Qatar when they lost 2-1 to Japan, because technically they didn't concede within the game against Morocco when they lost in the last 16. That game ended 0-0 after extra time, but they lost 3-0 on penalties. Very solid defensively, but so are Portugal. They've kept 2 clean sheets themselves against Uzbekistan and Colombia. Just conceded them 1 goal each against DR Congo by Johan Wissa. Then also the goal from Croatia's Ivan Perisic in the round of 32. So 0-0 here in Dallas. The winners of this game will take on either the USA or Belgium in Los Angeles on Friday, an 8 o'clock UK time kickoff. The other game we've got later on is that one, USA-Belgium at 1 o'clock, which I will certainly not be watching because I stayed up and watched England last night, and I actually don't know how I'm commentating on this game, because to say I am tired is an understatement. It completely killed me off, but my word, was it worth it. What an unbelievable game of football that was at the Azteca last night into the early hours of this morning over in the UK. But that is on the other side of the draw. So the only way Portugal or Spain or France can face England is if they meet each other in the final, where the final is being played. On Sunday the 19th, so just less than 2 weeks' time, at the MetLife Stadium in New Jersey. But a big dog is going out tonight. Portugal or Spain, that's a team that have got so much quality both in every area of the pitch, and then they've got the depth to follow it up as well. I mean, just some of the substitutes. I mean, for Portugal, they've got Gonçalo Ramos, they've got Rafael Leao, Bernardo Silva on the bench as well. And then for Spain, they've got Ferran Torres, who's had a brilliant season for Barcelona. He's scored 21 goals for them in all competitions. They've also got Fabian Ruiz of PSG, a fantastic technical central midfielder. So both teams have got players to also bring on off the bench if necessary in the second half, and then potentially into extra time if that is required. And for Portugal, they just made the one change to their round of 32 starting 11, Rafael Leao dropping back to the bench and being replaced by João Felix. This is the same team that started their second game against Uzbekistan, which won by 5-0, where Ronaldo scored twice in that game. And for Spain, they are unchanged from their round of 32 game, and it is also the same team they played in their second game when they beat Saudi Arabia by 4-0. A goal from Yamal and then 2 from Oyarzábal, and then an own goal as well in the second half from Saudi Arabia. But this is the 72nd game Spain have played in World Cup history, winning 34 of the previous 71. This is their 17th World Cup appearance. And for Portugal, it's only their 9th. This is their 40th game in the World Cup history, and if they win, it'll mean a 50% win rate because it'll be win 20 from 40 if they can go through tonight. Of course, their top scorer being Cristiano Ronaldo with 11 World Cup goals now. Scored 1 in 2006, 1 in 2010, 1 in 2014, 4 in 2018, 3 of them against Spain in the group stage in that 3-3 draw. And then also scored 1 in Qatar, but now 3 in 2026 for this joint World Cup between the USA, Canada and Mexico. And I mean, it is a shame that Mexico won't be hosting any more games, especially the Azteca. What a view and what a stadium for a football game. I still can't believe England got through that game when it went to 10 men and Tuchel went to the back 5. It was very nervy, but I think England did exceptionally well to get through that game, and I think fully deserved their spot into the quarterfinals where they take on Norway on Saturday night. That'll be a fantastic game, just more due to the fact that you know, Norway are going to be full of confidence themselves after a very professional job of knocking out Brazil by 2-0. I mean, that second goal from Erling Haaland was just absolutely ridiculous. Hit with so much power, and then the precision to get it right into the bottom corner. I mean, Alisson had absolutely no chance. And then a proper striker's goal as well for the first, beating a certain Gabriel to the header. But it's not too long now until the restart of this game, where Portugal have beaten Spain 3 times this century. 3 of their 7 wins against Spain have come this century, in June last year, then also November 2010 and June of 2004. That was a 1-0 win in 2004 in the Euros. And for Spain, they have won just 3 of the last 10 against Portugal since June 2004. I mean, 6 of the last 7 games after 90 minutes have been draws. So it is not unusual for this game to be level and to be even like it has been tonight. I mean, both teams have had chances. Spain probably more chances, but Portugal have hit the woodwork. I doubt anyone will make changes as of yet. I think the longer this game goes on, 0-0, I don't think any changes will be made. It will be interesting to see which manager blinks first in that sense, because you don't want to change something too early and it derail your team in terms of their, comfortability in the game. So if a goal is scored early, then that might mean earlier changes from both managers. That's why football is such an intriguing game. A certain action, a goal, a red card, if injury can just change the complexion of a game. So we'll have to see how that goes. Certainly need to try and get Cristiano Ronaldo more in the game. He's rarely had a sniff so far. Won the Saudi Pro League with Al Nassr last season, scoring 28 league goals. Cristiano Ronaldo, 5-time Ballon d'Or winner, last winning it in 2017. 5-time Champions League winner as well, when he won 3 in a row with Real Madrid from 2016 to 2018. It is Portugal's 7th consecutive World Cup appearance. They've made 2 semi-finals in 1966 against England, where they lost, and then in 2006 as well to France. So could it be another year that ends in 6, which brings Portugal into the latter stages? We'll have to wait and see. I mean, for Spain, their last biggest win in the competition has to be that World Cup final win in 2010, 116th minute winner from Iniesta. Their biggest knockout win for Spain was in the last 16 back in 1986. They've beaten Denmark 5-1. 4 goals was scored by Emiliano Butragueño. And for Portugal, their biggest win in a World Cup knockout game is also 6-1. That was in the last World Cup in Qatar against Switzerland. Their actual biggest win in World Cup overall for Portugal was a 7-0 win against North Korea in South Africa 2010. But it is no defeats for Portugal in their last 9 since that 2-0 away loss to Ireland back in November last year. It's no defeat for Spain since Portugal last year in the Nations League final. Just 1 defeat in the last 34. Since a 1-0 defeat to Colombia in March 2024. I mean, they're showing that Erling Haaland goal again. Just 1 touch, 2nd touch, 3rd touch, drills it bottom corner, and then just walks forward like it is just everyday business for Erling Haaland, which it is. I'm pretty sure that's 14 consecutive games he's scored in for Norway. I mean, that's just absolutely outrageous in every sense. It's definitely going to be difficult for England, but they'll fancy their chances after their defensive display against Mexico. Had to be very, very resolute, and they were. I think it is starting to certainly shape up to be a very interesting World Cup, especially those quarter-final ties that are currently being paired up. Because I mean, even France-Morocco on Thursday at 9 o'clock, that'll be a fantastic watch. And then on the Saturday, you've got Norway-England, and then potentially on the Sunday you could have a Colombia-Argentina quarter-final. That'd be tasty. Friday could be Belgium, against Portugal or Spain, or even the USA could get in there. Obviously, massive controversy with Florian Balogun's red card being suspended by a year so he can play in the Belgium game. I think it's, dodgy beyond belief, but that's the world we live in now. So a couple of minutes until we get into the second half of a game that is 0-0, but we've had plenty of opportunities. We've had the woodwork hit by Nuno Mendes for Portugal. A double save forced out by Diogo Costa after strikes from Yamal and Baena. So it's not been a bore fest. It's Two teams who want to win. For Cristiano Ronaldo, it's now almost 23 years playing at international level. Made his debut in August 2003 against Kazakhstan. He has got the most international appearances of any player of all time, 233 Portugal appearances. Now he's got the most international goals at 146, 10 hat-tricks for Portugal, 11 World Cup goals, got his first knockout one against Croatia in the round of 32. I mean, his record for Real Madrid, by the way, 450 goals for them in 438 appearances over a 9-year stint. I mean, yes, there's debates with him and Messi, but in his own right, he is an out-of-this-world footballer who's been able to adapt his game from a tricky winger to an out-and-out centre-forward. Still going at the age of 41, turning 42 in February next year. And I just wouldn't put it past him if he was at the next World Cup. I mean, I doubt it, but if anyone's going to be playing at a World Cup at the age of 45, it'll probably be Cristiano Ronaldo, as it is both teams back out. I don't see any changes, so it's going to be as you were as the teams are on the screen at the moment. And it's Portugal 0, Spain 0. It'll be Portugal to kick off, kicking left to right here in Dallas. Spain right to left. Anthony Taylor blows the whistle. João Neves goes back to Vitinha, who then lays it off to his left to Fernandes. First time pass goes forward. It's a header away by Porro, controlled by Yamal. Into the Portugal half we go over pass to Pedri on the right hand side, into the middle to Oyarzabal. Space is open up on the Spain left. He plays it out to Baena. It goes behind him, can just about keep it in. Cucurella overlaps. Baena cuts in, crosses in, right footed himself, headed away by Vega to the edge of the box, not dealt with by Cancelo. Cucurella can't go into Rodri, and it's played now to Neto, who charges away into the Spain half, still with Pedro Neto. Laporte coming across, slowing him down. Playing the ball into the middle of the park to Vitinha. Now onto the run of Fernandes to his left. Returning it back out wide right towards Neto. Cucurella went for it. Didn't quite get a touch, so it will go through for a goal kick. Didn't realise that his former club teammate Pedro Neto never made that run into the box. We're a minute in Dallas. Still 0-0. Mendes wins the ball back successfully off Porro, who tried to get it through his legs. It's now in front of the 18-yard box with number 3, Ruben Diaz, who made his debut for Portugal back in 2018, making his 80th appearance for his country. Ball forward to João Neves. It's now João Felix on the left-hand side. Back to the halfway line to João Neves. João Felix once more. Trying to go forward if he can, but forced to go back to Renato Vega, the 22-year-old centre-back who turns 23 in around 3 weeks' time at the back end of this month. Pedro Neto near side. Midway sides on half. Skips away from the challenge of Baena. Plays the ball into the middle to Vitinha. Back out wide to Neto, who tries to scoop it over the top of Baena. No touch off any Spanish player. And that's a throw-in the left-back position for Spain. But Pedro Neto is gobsmacked. That's not gone his way. He thought there was a touch on there. Assistant referee said no. 2 minutes in, still goalless. Spain out to the far side to right back Pedro Porro. Scored his first goal for his country in their round of 32 game against Austria. Scoring the goal to make it 2-0 against Ralph Rangnick's side. Aymeric Laporte, left centre-back. Going towards the middle to Olmo. Keeps it away from Vega, but Pedri can't. Neto forward to Ronaldo. Tripped by Olmo. That's going to be a free kick for Portugal. Well, won by the captain, Cristiano Ronaldo. Touch was a little bit heavy, allowed Olmo to get in there, but Ronaldo was able to get in front of him and force the challenge and the foul. Just towards the right-hand side, probably about 40, 50 yards out here for a delivery from Bruno Fernandes, who picked up 21 Premier League assists last season, most from any player in Premier League history in a single season. Picked up 9 in his last 11 games in the league. Very impressive from the 31-year-old Bruno Fernandes, who's looking for his 30th Portugal goal. If he scores tonight, he's going to leave it. No, he won't. Mendes will dummy it for Fernandes to take it. Swings it to the back post, easily caught by Unai Simon, whose throw is poor. It's picked up by Vitinha on the left-hand side, onto his right foot. Plays it 5 yards inside to João Neves, then back into Bruno Fernandes. Forward to João Cancelo, edge of the area, right-footed. It opens up, he'll dink it into the box instead. No one made the run, and that's a goal kick. Cristiano Ronaldo wanted it to feet. No one made the run to the back post. Could have even gone for the shot there, João Cancelo, who's never scored in a major tournament, the right back. Scored twice this season for Barcelona in La Liga as he went back out on loan to the Spanish side. He's looking to make that move permanent if possible, but Al Hilal's current team want a fee. Played for so many big clubs: João Cancelo, Benfica, Valencia, Inter, Juventus, Manchester City, Bayern, Barcelona. That's a hell of a CV from João Cancelo. It's Baena, plays into the path of Pedri, who is bursting forward with the ball. Pedri, middle of the park, goes out to the right to Yamal, edge of the area, into the box, tries to go on the outside of Mendes, who's got too much strength, and then he's brought to the ground, and that's a brilliant piece of defending by Nuno Mendes, who came through the Sporting Academy. Gets the right foot in, and he's had his number so far. Yamal struggled against Nuno Mendes, but he is probably the best left back in the world. So he's going to have to be on top form tonight. Lamine Yamal. Interesting for Lamine Yamal. His dad is Moroccan and his mother is from Equatorial Guinea. Finished as a runner-up in the Ballon d'Or in 2025, losing out to Ousmane Dembele. Spain have won the ball back in their own half. Strong defensively again, still not conceded in this World Cup, but a poor ball from Baena, intercepted by Vitinha. Space down the Portugal right. Neto has got space to run into. Laporte comes across. Neto on the outside, right-footed. Ball goes in, there's too much on it. Ronaldo can't reach it, rolls out for a throw-in on the opposite side. Massively overcooked it there, Pedro Neto, who has started every World Cup game in 2026 for Portugal. The idea's right, but the execution's not good enough. And he's asking way too much of Cristiano Ronaldo. And Spain try and clear, but headed back forward by Mendes, but off the head of Pedri to Baena. Midway inside his own half in a central area, works out to the right here to Olmo, who takes it beyond the halfway line. And drops the ball off to Yamal, and back forward through for Olmo. Can't quite get in front of Mendes. Shields the ball for now. And the ball will roll out for a throw-in for Portugal. Well defended again there by Nuno Mendes. As it's actually quite a crazy stat. Only twice before have the Euros winner gone to lift the World Cup 2 years later. West Germany did it in 1972 to 1974, and then also Spain did it in 2008, and then of course won the World Cup in 2010. So it's very rare that the reigning champions of the Euros actually then go on to win the World Cup. I mean, Spain have done it, but just one of two sides who have. But they're going to try and be the third separate side as Yamal bursts past Mendes, tries to pull it across goal, but no one's there. Cleared by Cancelo. That's kind of the first time that Yamal's had it against Mendes and got around him. But Yathobal was too late on the scene and Cancelo could come across to clear. Nuno Mendes just taking his time to get back to his feet. Certainly a player they don't want to lose, as we're just over 7 minutes in here in Dallas in the second half. It's still goalless, but certainly a eye-catching game. Spain restart towards the halfway line. Pedri, everyone behind the ball for Portugal, bar Cristiano Ronaldo. Still Pedri, forward to Olmo, around the corner to Ayathobal, lays it off to Rodri. Cucurella, 10 yards in front of the halfway line, goes out wide left now to Baena. Everything to his right, goes back into Rodri. Then across into the centre circle now to Pau Kubasi. Dribbles with the ball. He's got options out to the right. Brings in Pedro Porro. Inside it goes to Yamal. Back through to Porro. Falls over the ball as he tries to control it. Mendes to Fernandes. He's got Felix making a run ahead of him. Bruno Fernandes holding it up. Plays it back into Cristiano Ronaldo, who is dancing his way through beyond two players and then tackled by the third. And it's a well-timed challenge there by Mikel Oyarzabal, the striker, filling in at right back to stop Cristiano Ronaldo, and Rodri has booted the ball out of play as Nuno Mendes has gone back down. This will be a huge loss for Portugal because he has had Lamine Yamal in his back pocket for the majority of this game. I think he might have pulled a muscle when Lamine Yamal went round him just a couple of minutes ago. This does not look healthy for Nuno Mendes as he went to slide to get a touch on the Yamal pullback, which Oyarzabal couldn't get to. He may have just stretched and pulled a muscle. I mean, they do have cover in left back. I mean, he's not an out-and-out left back, but Diogo Dalot can play left back. So can João Cancelo, in fairness. That's where he played a lot of his football for Manchester City. The medical staff are going to see what they can do with Nuno Mendes because they don't want to lose him. Just mainly for the fact of he's just so good, not just defending, but also going forward. Did score one of his 2 goals for Portugal in that Nations League final against Spain last year. He's walking over to the far side. So he might try it one more time. It does look like he's going to have to come off, and Roberto Martinez is going to go for a bit more experience. He's going to go for Nelson Semedo, the 32-year-old, 33 Portugal, 53 Portugal appearances. This is his first ever World Cup, though. Not started any of the games so far, Nelson Semedo, and he is going to go over to left back. So he is usually right-footed, but he's having to go left back. Did play at Euro 2021 and 2024, so he has got experience at tournaments, the Lisbon-born fullback, but that is a little bit of a downgrade, no disrespect to Nelson Semedo, because he's had a brilliant career, playing for the likes of Benfica and Barcelona, big stint also at Wolves before leaving last summer on a free to go to Fenerbahce, where he finished 3rd in the Turkish league, losing the league by 3 points. As we're back underway. So Nuno Mendes having to come off, looking like a potential muscle injury. And for Portugal, if they do go through, they're going to be crossing everything they've got to hope that he's fit for the next round, where they'll take on either the USA or Belgium. Not played the most amount of football this season, Nuno Mendes. He has only made 41 club appearances. I mean, that is still a lot of appearances, but only featured 20 times in Ligue 1, made just 1 appearance in the last 7 league games. But of course, the season before that, when PSG got to the Club World Cup final, Champions League final, I mean, the amount of games he would have played that season would have been, off the scale. So maybe just the last couple of years and all the games he's had to play, Nuno Mendes, just caught up to him there because he's not just playing a lot of games, he's playing a lot of games at the highest level, at the highest intensity. And tonight, he's probably been the best player on the pitch, the way he's defended against Yamal. And also in the first half, right at the end of the half, he hit the crossbar via a deflection as a long ball forward, headed on by João Felix to Ronaldo. But the youngster, he's 26 now, João Felix, was offside as he won the header as the ball was played up towards him. And then another direct ball from Spain can't be controlled by Dani Olmo. Goes through to the gloves of Diogo Costa in the Portugal goal. João Cancelo at right back. Lifted ball down the line. Chested down by Pedri ahead of Vitinha. Pedri bringing the ball forward. Trying to lay it off to Oyarzabal, and he can. It's now Cucurella to Rodri. Dinking it out wide left to Baena. Cucurella making a run ahead of him, goes inside instead to Olmo, gets a touch away from one, but cleared by Vega up to Ronaldo. Lays it off for João Felix, who will find Bruno Fernandes, takes a heavy touch around Porro and sprints around him. Has to slow it down so Porro can recover. And then he goes back towards the halfway line to Semedo, but it is Portugal possession now in the Spain half. Nelson Semedo. Back towards the halfway line here to João Neves. Vitinha. Halfway line with Renato Veiga. The 6'3" centre half. Spent a year at Basel before he's moved to Chelsea, where he's then moved from Chelsea now to his current club Villarreal. Sent off once in La Liga, and that was in their home game to Barcelona towards the back end of December. João Felix puts the ball into the area towards Ronaldo, who can work a shot to goal. He did well just to keep it in. It was a comfortable save by Unai Simon. Just about able to dig the cross out on the edge of the area, João Felix, but just too much on it. Say Ronaldo did well to let the ball come across him and volley it towards goal. Just didn't quite catch it as he would have liked. Unai Simon on the ball in the 18-yard area. He's going to go long with a kick up to the halfway line. It's a header down by Veiga. Neto kicks it off by Aina, but straight to Cucurella, who crosses the halfway line. Goes back into Pedri now in the centre circle with Rodri. Rolls it 10 yards to his right to Porro. No one closing him down at the moment. Not many options on for him. Forced to go back to Pau Kubasi. Made his debut for Spain, Pau Kubasi, at the age of 17 years and 2 months. So much experience already at the age of 19. Laporte into Kubasi once more. Out of the centre circle he goes. He's got a couple of options ahead of him. He goes out to the right to Lamine Yamal. Porro. To Kubasi. Rodri, Kubasi, midway inside the Portugal half. Back out wide it goes to Yamal in the final third. Running at Semedo. Trying to play a ball through to Porro. Well intercepted by Felix, who's then tripped by Yamal. With half an hour to go, it's a free kick to Portugal in a left-back position. Still goalless so far. In their 5 previous meetings with one another in major competition, Spain have come out victorious on a couple of occasions as they try and take the lead again. In this game, Pedri firing over from the edge of the box, but via a deflection off Renato Veiga. And that's a corner for Spain on the near side. Olmo had it, laid it off to Pedri, took a touch and had the strike. It did take the deflection. Pedri did score in the warm-up friendly before the tournament against Peru. Corner goes in by Baena. Can be cleared on the penalty spot by Vitinha, but not very far. Yamal kicks it off of Felix, and that's going to be another corner on the near side for Spain, as they're the team putting the pressure on at the moment, and Portugal doing their utmost to withstand it. It's going to be another right-footed in-swinger from Alex Baena, who scored on his Spain debut just less than 3 years ago against Cyprus. Needs to try and provide an assist this time around. In it goes, curling towards the back post. Well caught by Costa as Laporte was going for the header as well. Strong hands from the 26-year-old, who will roll it out to the left-hand side. Yeah, strong on Laporte. Didn't even knock himself to the ground. Still waiting for the first tactical change, you could say, because the Nuno Mendes substitute was enforced due to injury. But bar that, we've not seen any Spain substitutes as of yet. Like I say, got Fabian Ruiz on the bench, Gavi, Nico Williams, Ferran Torres, so plenty of options for Luis de la Fuente. That's Portugal bringing it forward. Near side, João Neves. Can't quite work it forward to Neto. Olmo gets himself in a bit of a tangle with his feet. And it's won back by Vitinha. In the middle of the park. Goes 5 yards to his right to Bruno Fernandes, who is caught from behind by Pedri as he released it. That's a free kick for Portugal. contract expires at Manchester United next season. Bruno Fernandes does have a year extension option, though, in his deal. As it took the free kick short, it's Pedro Neto lifting it back to Cancelo. Vitinha just in front of the centre circle. Back out to the right side to Diaz. Forward to Bruno Fernandes. First time ball fired out to the right to Neto. Takes it down the line. And then inside to Cancelo. Tries to return it to Neto. First time cleared by Cucurella. Bounces off Pedri. And that's a throw-in for Portugal. Just in front of the Spain technical area for João Cancelo to take. Also another debutant goal scorer when he made his debut for Portugal back in September 2019 against Gibraltar. Semedo at left back. Facing his own goal, has to go all the way back to the goalkeeper of Costa. Just in front of his 6-yard area, takes a touch out to his right, lays it off short to Diaz. Lifts it down the right channel, beyond the halfway line, headed away by Laporte. Controlled by Pedri. Keeps it away from Vitinha, who's tracking him the whole way. Into Rodri, then back to Laporte, well kept for Spain. Kubasi, midway inside his own half. Forward to Pedri, back to goal. Still facing his own goal, as Vitinha again is tracking him every step of the way. Back to Kubasi, then Unai Simon on the angle, on the right side of his 18-yard area. 25 to go here in Dallas, still goalless. Dinked up towards the halfway line, header won by Vega. But then the second ball won by Olmo to Yamal. He's got Olmo on the overlap. Lamine Yamal driving into a central area, then feeding out to the left to Baena. Space opening up for Spain. Baena trying to go back inside, well intercepted by Cancelo, who loses out. Baena has the strike to the bottom right corner, comfortably saved by Costa. And it's still goalless with 25 to go. Didn't quite generate enough power there, Alex Baena, with his left foot, looking for his 4th Spain goal. Only scored 2 in La Liga this season, Alex Baena. One was in a 3-1 away defeat to Barcelona at the beginning of December. Spain have it back with Laporte. Here's Baena to the halfway line to Pedri, who's in the centre circle. And then curls it out to the right-hand side to Yamal. In the final third, he's got Porro with him, making a run into the area. Finds him. Porro across the box. Again, no one's there. Oyarzábal nowhere to be seen, and it's a clearance for Cancelo once more. Don't think Pedro Porro can put it in a more dangerous position. Right along the 6-yard area, just no one there. Olmo tried the late run. Maybe Luis de la Fuente will be thinking about maybe swapping Oyarzábal out for maybe the likes of a Ferran Torres. Cucurella to Alex Baena on the near side. Back into Cucurella. It's now Laporte on the halfway line. Across to his right 10 yards to Kubasi. Porro. Forward and out wide to Yamal. Running at Semedo again. Tries to get in between him and Felix. Goes to the ground. He's asking for too much there, Yamal. And Semedo can bring it away, but he runs into traffic of Porro. One back for Spain. And it's for Kubasi on halfway. And the 2010 winners are looking to try and take the lead in this last 16 tie. Baena, middle of the park, spins away from Ronaldo, who's trying to get back to do some defensive work. Pedri to Yamal, being doubled up on by Semedo and Felix. Goes back to Pedri. Here's Rodri. Kubasi. Switch to Cucurella. Touches him great. Forces him to go back to Laporte. Here's the captain, Rodri. His last goal for Spain was all the way back in the Euros in 2024 against Georgia in the last 16. Here's Baena. Tries to slip it through for Oyarzábal. Bounces off his knee. And to Pedro Neto. Portugal need to try and get out of this, but they can't. They're camped in their own half. Felix can't take it under control. And the throw-in, they wanted to take it quickly, but the referee stopped play because of the hydration break. And that is going to be a Spain throw-in when we restart. But at the moment, with a quarter of the game left to go, it's still Portugal 0, Spain 0. And we still search for the first goal in this game. Not been as many chances in the second half, it must be said. It's now getting to a territory where neither team really want to lose the game in this position. Don't want to give away any silly mistakes. Lots of thinking to do there for Roberto Martinez. Famously won the FA Cup in 2013 with Wigan. Won the League One title with Swansea in the 07-08 season. Played there as a player on 2 separate stints. Roberto Martinez also played 6 years at Wigan, who of course he went on to manage. Played for them between 1995 and 2001. And then was at Swansea from 2003 to 2006. Left and then joined back in 2007 as a player, before retiring and becoming the manager. And there is Luis de la Fuente, the Spanish head coach, 65 now. He retired all the way back in 1994 as a player. Made 4 caps for Spain's under-21s. Luis de la Fuente played through Bilbao's youth system, spent 4 years at Sevilla, then back to Bilbao and then to Alaves as well, where he ended his career. His first major tournament in charge of the senior team for Spain, where they won Euro 2024, beating the likes of Croatia, Italy, Albania, Georgia, Germany, France, and of course England famously in the final. Last few tactical instructions from both coaches. And it looks like Portugal are going to make a couple of changes here. Potentially Diogo Dalot coming on and Rafael Leao. Huge final 20 to go. Roberto Martinez using every single second of this hydration break to get as much information into the players as possible. I feel like this game is just going to come to an individual moment. As the first change we'll see João Felix come off for Rafa Leao. That was the only change to the starting 11 from Croatia. And the other change, we'll see Diogo Dalot come on. And he'll replace João Cancelo. So like-for-like changes for Portugal to freshen things up. Both full-backs have now been changed. Semedo on the left-hand side and Dalot on the right. And now Rafael Leao at left wing. Born in Almada, just south of Lisbon. Rafael Leao, who has already scored in this World Cup in the group stage to Uzbekistan. And we've got that Spain throw in midway inside the Portugal half. Throws it forward to the run of Rodri. Controls it brilliantly. Brings in Yamal, who's been pulled from behind. That will be a free kick. Guilty party of Nelson Semedo. And on the right-hand side edge of the area, that will be a free kick for Spain. Since the substitution where Nuno Mendes had to come off injured, Lamine Yamal just starting to find a little bit more success in some of his dribbles that he's putting on. Yamal stood over it at the minute. Baena. And also the number 21 as well for Spain, of Mikel Oyarzabal, who's walking away. So is Baena. So it's going to be left to the left-footed wand of Lamine Yamal, who has scored at this tournament in the second group game against Saudi Arabia to make it 1-0. And he is going to shoot towards goal, and it's had to be palmed over the top by the goalkeeper. It's a save you'd expect Diogo Costa to make, but he had to make sure he got it over the crossbar. Right hand used. And on the near side, it's a Spain set piece to be taken by Alex Baena. In it goes to the back post. It's had to be palmed away by Costa to Semedo at left back, who will clear it left-footed up towards the Spain halfway line, where it's controlled by Porro. Then played back to Unai Simon, midway inside his own half. Plenty of time on the ball for him. Goes out to the left here to Dani Olmo, who's just scored 1 in his last 17 in La Liga, as Barcelona ran through to another league title. And Ferran Torres will be introduced shortly. He stripped and read it. Unai Simon long up towards Yamal. First touch from Semedo, and Yamal goes down too easily according to Anthony Taylor. And it's Portugal back on the ball in their back line with Ruben Diaz. Diogo Costa. Long ball. It's a high ball out to the Portugal left. Not really aimed to anyone. And Porro can let that bounce through to Unai Simon. Bit of a waste there from Diogo Costa, making his 48th cap for Portugal. Playing at his second World Cup. Also, the Porto man. 16 left to play. Olmo in behind for Yamal. That's a brilliant pass. Semedo recovering and getting back well. Yamal, edge of the area, squares it towards Baena. It's a poor ball. Well intercepted though by Dallo, and Portugal can come the other way. Neto in the central area. Working it out to the left here to Leao, who takes it beyond the halfway line and slows the game down as Spain get bodies back. That final ball on too many occasions hasn't been good enough. Switch from Portugal. Dallo forward from right back. Tackled by Baena. Last touch off the Manchester United full-back. That's a throw-in for Spain. So we still search for the first goal in this game in Dallas. And we're going to get a change. Not the change I expected. Mikel Oyarzabal stays on. And it will be Alex Baena to come off for Ferran Torres. Playing at his second World Cup. Yet to score at a World Cup. Did start the first game against Cape Verde. And not started one since it. Did score a brace in their 7-0 win against Costa Rica and Qatar in the previous World Cup. As they've got some defending to do with Leao to Ronaldo. Is he offside? Flag doesn't go up. Vitinha from afar strikes it. Deflects off Rodri towards Bruno Fernandes. Right side of the box. Strikes it. And it hits the side netting. A half that has lacked chances. That's one of the bigger ones we've had. Bruno Fernandes not quite working it on target. Watching the ball all the way and got a decent contact on it. Just couldn't work it on target in the end. Cucurella. Left-footed ball up towards Torres, who has gone up front, and Oyarzabal worked himself out to the left-hand side, but they can't make it stick up front, Spain. Semedo in a left-back position, just about working himself away from Yamal. Tries the 1-2 with Leao, but the ball's short. Here's Yamal. Finds Dani Olmo, 22 yards from goal, trying to play it inside the box. It's intercepted, but it bounces back to Spain. Rodri to Olmo. And Rodri again. Plenty of bodies behind the ball again for Portugal. Everyone bar Ronaldo. Pedri. 5 yards to his right to Rodri. Same distance to Olmo. Lays it off behind him to Porro. Into the centre circle we go with Kubasi. Looks to try and get it in between the lines if possible. Goes to his right to Rodri. And returns the ball to Kubasi. Then to Rodri again. Patience from Spain. Pedri. Allowed to turn forward. Just shifts it to his right to Porro. Then play back into Pedri. Can he link it over the top to Torres? It's a great ball. Can he get there before it goes out? He can. But kicks it into the side netting. And another goal kick for Portugal. Not the worst of ideas there from Pedri. Spain's number 20. Another youngster making his debut at the age of 18 for Spain back in 2021. It does feel like he's been around for a very long time. Pedri, even though he's still only so young at 23. Made his Barcelona debut at age 17 and he's already made 245 appearances for Barcelona, Pedri. And he's only 23. That is outstanding. That level of consistency. As Spain have got the ball back already. With 12.5 minutes of the 90 to go. It's 0-0 here in Dallas. Home of the Dallas Cowboys. Kubasi. Rodri in the centre circle. Forward to Ferran Torres. Gets the turn away from Dallo and then lays it off to Cucurella. Now with Pedri in the midfield. Rodri in front of the centre circle. Keeps the ball moving to Oyarzábal in a central area. Skips beyond Vega. Plays it through to Olmo. Just inside the box. Right-hand side. Gets the shot off. It's a vital block from Diaz. And that's going to be a corner on the far side for Spain. He's known for those body launching blocks. Ruben Diaz. And it was necessary that time around. As Olmo had been found on his own. But couldn't quite get the shot on target to trouble Diogo Costa. It was blocked instead. Yamal, in-swinger, deep. Parried by the goalkeeper. It's going to be kept alive by Rodri outside the area. Keeps it away from Leao. And dinks it back in. And it's punched by Costa. There's a Spain man down in the area. They've worked it to the right side to Yamal. Currently being slowed down by Ronaldo and Dalot. Clever ball. Torres pulls it across. Again, no one there. Cleared by Semedo. Corner. Ferran Torres asking for a handball. That's 2 or 3 times now in this game. Spain have pulled the ball across the 6-yard area. And no one's been there to tap it home. Cleared each time. As Ferran Torres put it in. Asking for a handball off Vega. If it did come off his arm, it was a very light touch. And it will not be given as a penalty kick. It's going to be another Spain corner. It's going to be another one taken by Lamine Yamal. 2 arms up in the air. Curled into the centre of the box. Glanced away only as far as Rodri, who has handled it. And that's going to be a free kick for Portugal in their 18-yard area. 10 minutes to go. Still goalless. As Spain still haven't conceded at this World Cup, extending the record of the longest team to not concede in the World Cup. That's a record for Unai Simon in the Spain goal, who's looking to keep his 6th clean sheet in his 9th World Cup appearance. Diaz takes the free kick on the edge of the area, clipped out towards the left-hand side, goes over the head of Porro and Neves. Thrown for Spain, taken quickly back to Pau Kubasi. Kubasi forward to Ferran Torres, keeps it away from former club teammate Ruben Diaz. Pedri to the right to Yamal, who's just starting to blossom more into the game. Inside to Torres, can he return it to Yamal? Cleared by Semedo. Towards Bruno Fernandes, who wins the header to Neto. He's got Ronaldo ahead of him, finds him. Cristiano Ronaldo on this near side has to hold it up and go back because there's just no one around him. Dalot can turn away from Torres. Vitinha back to Diaz, and then across to Vega, and it's Portugal who have managed to keep the ball. On the far side, João Neves. Forward to Rafael Leao, running at Porro, going around Porro, bursting into the area, trying to get it across, deflects off Porro and into the gloves of the goalkeeper. 9 minutes to go. Simon throws the ball forward to Pedri. Now into the Portugal half with Ferran Torres on the left-hand side. Getting completely slows the game down because there's no one really to aim for Spain. Starting to tire both sets of players. Ferran Torres into the middle now with Pedri. Rodri. Oyarzábal, 25 yards out, plays it out to the right to Yamal. One-on-one Semedo in the box onto his left foot. Finds Oyarzábal once more. Tries to pass, deflects back to him, but then heavy touch gives it away. And Portugal try and break. Leao skipping away from Porro. Then down the line to Fernandes. Left-footed pass he attempts, but it's well blocked off by Kubasi. And that's going to be a throw-in for Portugal on the halfway line. On the far side. And Portugal are going to make a double change. Pedro Neto is going to be replaced by Francisco Conceição, who has scored 3 in his last 11 he's played in for Portugal, including a goal in their Nations League semi-final last year to Germany. And the second change will be Vitinha to come off. He is yet to play a full 90 minutes in the World Cup, despite starting all 5 games now. He is again subbed off before the end of 90, and he'll be replaced by Bernardo Silva, who has not scored for Portugal since September last year against Hungary in qualifying. just started the one game at the World Cup in 2026. Bernardo Silva, and that was in the first game against DR Congo in the 1-1 draw. So a few more changes there from Roberto Martinez. We're back underway here in Dallas, Texas. Semedo tries to go all the way back to his goalkeeper, just about kept in by Costa, but Semedo was caught as he passed it. And that's going to be a free kick for Portugal. It looks like Spain are going to make a change shortly of Mikel Merino. Champions League finalist with Arsenal. Didn't quite get on the pitch that day as he was returning from injury. But of course a Premier League title winner as well now. Six and a half of the 90 to go. Portugal on the ball, far side in their final third. It's Bruno Fernandes keeping the ball away from Olmo. Working across in, it's deep. And they go all the way through. And they go all the way out for a throw-in for Spain. It looks like they're going to make two changes. Marino and also Ruiz as well. So two central midfield changes. Maybe just freshening it up in the middle of the park because both teams are visibly starting to tire. Cucurella throwing down the lines of Torres. Keeps it away from Dallo. Oyarzábal, loose pass. Bernardo Silva to Bruno Fernandes on this near side. Here's Conceição, the substitute. Tackled once and then twice by the Spain players down that left-hand side. And that's a throw-in again for Portugal. Just shoved to the ground there, Francisco Conceição. Was the two changes for Spain. The first one, we'll see Pedri come off for Fabian Ruiz. It's now 19 tournament appearances for Pedri in his career, and he's yet to score. Fabian Ruiz has scored. Scored twice at Euro 2024 against Georgia and Croatia. And the second change was see Dani Olmo to come off, so two Barcelona players off. And Mikel Merino comes on, formerly of Dortmund and Newcastle. Struggled with a foot injury though for the last 5 months of the season, which only had him back for the back end of the campaign. Long throw from Dallo, headed away for Spain to Rodri. It's now Yamal. Keeping away from the challenge of Neves into the Portugal half. He's got an option out to the right and he finds Oyarzábal. Inside to Rodri. Yamal with the first time switch out to the left to Fabian Ruiz. Cucurella's with him on the overlap. Ruiz will cross it himself. It deflects. It loops up into the air. And it's caught by Costa in the 6-yard box. And it's still Portugal 0, Spain 0 with 4.5 minutes to go. Dallo at right back. Long ball forward deep into the Spain half. It's going to be a ball that almost reaches Conceição. A vital headed interception by Cucurella. Rodri back into number 24 Cucurella, who made 50 appearances for Chelsea in his final season at Stamford Bridge. Now he's moved on to Real Madrid for just under £52 million, formerly of Barcelona for 8 years. Cucurella making the one senior appearance. Ruiz to the halfway line to Torres, lays it out to the left to Cucurella, who's adventuring into the Portugal half. Just goes back slightly to Ruiz, trying the switch out, kept alive by Oyarzábal with a sliding challenge because it was almost reaching Rafa Leão. Laporte just in front of the halfway line. Looking out to the left-hand side, potentially. Goes inside to his right to Torres, then back into his own half now with Kubasi. And then spins and goes back once more to Simon. Forward to the left to Laporte. Kubasi, back to Simon. Ronaldo pressing, but just about able to shift it to the right side to Rodri. Clips it forward beyond the halfway line. Volleyed by Semedo. Headed forward by Ruiz. Merino can turn and face forward. He's got runs left and right and through the middle. Merino slows it down and goes back to Ruiz. Very pedestrian pace this game at the moment. You can see both are tired. Porro 25 yards out, right hand side. Works the ball out to Yamal. Number 19 for Spain. Plays the ball through to Torres. Turns forward onto his left foot. Can he lay it off for Rodri potentially? Tries to slip it through and behind for Yamal instead. It's too intricate. And it goes through to the goalkeeper of Costa. Yeah, trying a little bit too hard there. Number 7. Ferran Torres. Will we get a winning goal before extra time in this game? Bernardo Silva taking the ball deep. Playing it to his club teammate of Ruben Diaz to his right-hand side. And here's Bernardo Silva again, the newly named Real Madrid signing not too long ago on a free from Manchester City. After almost a decade at the club. Dallo, forward from right back, plays the ball inside just behind Conceição. Merino, met by a heavy challenge from Bernardo Silva. The Spain bench aren't happy with that. And he goes into the book. Bruno Fernandes trying to argue Bernardo Silva's case that it was his first challenge. But that is aggressive and heavy on Mikel Merino. Yeah, a bit unnecessary that from Bernardo Silva. And the yellow card for him. He's just come on for his 113th appearance for Portugal. So we tick closer to minute 90. Still goalless here in Dallas. Not quite the same commentary as the last one. I covered the Belgium-Senegal game, which ended up ending 3-2 after extra time. I mean, the first half was a lot better than the second half, I must admit. I feel like both teams have tired during this second half. As Bernardo Silva just about gets the clean tackle there on Porro, kicking it forward up towards Ronaldo, and it's a header back from Laporte, and it just about reaches Unai Simon. Sniffing around there, Ronaldo, but couldn't quite nip inside. Ferran Torres goes to the halfway line to Ruiz. Now into the middle, now to Rodri. Wants to go forward. Plays out to the right to Porro. Jogging the ball forward. Then out to the right flank here to Yamal in the final third. Can you get the better of Semedo? Lamine Yamal with it. Goes inside to Torres, then back out to Porro. Bit forced to go back. Good press that from Leao. It's now with the centre-back Kubasi. 10 seconds of the 90 to go. Rodri, Merino, bundled to the ground by Bernardo Silva, who just needs to be careful. It's a free kick, 6 minutes added on. It's Ferran Torres, slips it through, chance for Spain. Merino with the opportunity, and he takes it. Mikel Merino, off the bench, to be Spain's saviour to send them to the last 8. Ronaldo's last dance could be coming to an abrupt end here in Dallas. Mikel Merino with his 11th Spain goal. And he scores in such important moments. Rodri forward first time to Ferran Torres, and then the gap appeared as Diaz closed down Torres. And Merino exploited the space and the gap left. Costa came sprinting out, made himself as big as possible, but he was able to place it into the bottom left corner. That is pure Spain football and DNA. Quick passing play to open space up. And Mikel Merino just had to stay calm and composed, and he did. He found the corner, and as we just about headed into added on time, Spain take a lead. It's Portugal 0, Spain 1. And the last time these two met at the World Cup in the last 16, it finished 1-0 to Spain that day as well. The winner that time was through David Villa in the 63rd minute of the game. This one's come in the 91st minute, and Portugal are looking at a third World Cup exit in the last 16. And they've all come within the last 16 years, losing to Spain in 2010 in the last 16, and also to Uruguay and Russia in 2018 as João Neves loses out to Rodri. Mikel Merino, the match winner, forward to Ferran Torres, the assist maker. Brilliantly timed challenge in the midfield there by Diogo Dallo, it looks like. And Portugal have got around 4 minutes to save themselves. Fernandes with a switch out to Semedo on the left. Won't get there. Porro with the header. Celebrates the header like a goal. Throw in taken. Renato Vega. Down the line to Semedo. Tackled by Yamal, but it drops to João Neves. Need Ronaldo in the box, but he's tried to be a short option. He needs to get in the box. Semedo, Ronaldo unmoved. That is, it doesn't make any sense. Spain come away with it. Yamal pulled to the ground. And that's going to be a yellow card to, is that Renato Vega who brought him down? Or was it Semedo? I think it was Nelson Semedo. Let's have a look. Vega had a pull. Yeah, Vega. Renato Vega with a yellow card there. I mean, Portugal won their round of 32 game in the 94th minute. Now they've just conceded a potential winner against them in the 91st minute. Long ball for Spain, can't be held up by Ferran Torres. Through to Costa, who rolls it out to the right back. Dallo. To the left centre half of Vega. They've got to go forward quickly as the clock ticks down. Rafael Leao tries to go around Porro. He's not overran it. He's kept it in as he runs towards the corner flag. Still with Leao. Onto his right foot. Playing it back to Semedo. The ball's got to go in. It does. Poor delivery. Header away. Kept alive though by Ruben Diaz. Here's Bernardo Silva on the right hand side. Works it to Conceição, who's got everything to his left. Plays it to the angle to Bruno Fernandes. Out of his feet. And it's a deep delivery. It's too deep. Will be kept in though by Rafael Leao on the far side. Running at Porro. Needs more support. Just about works it back to Semedo, who's under pressure from Yamal but keeps it. Still with Semedo. Diaz. 25 yards out from goal. Works it to Leao. Right-footed ball goes in. It bounces. It's a key header from Kubasi. Needs to be cleared by Ruiz, and it is. Long it goes. And Costa has to retreat the ball for Portugal. 80 seconds to go. Bruno Fernandes on the halfway line. Here's Conceição on the near side. Everyone behind the ball for Spain. Sat back defending what they've got. Bruno Fernandes midway inside the Spain half. Lays it off to Semedo. Vega. Got to do something with this, Portugal. Vega. Clipping it out to the left-hand side. Too much on it. And it will go for a Spain throw-in. And it just seems like this Portugal team have completely run out of gas in this last 16 second half. I mean, Spain weren't exactly alive themselves, but they were certainly the better side in terms of trying to create an opportunity. Long throw from Porro. Tackle comes in from João Neves. Here's Conceição. Bernardo Silva. Could there be one last attack for Portugal? Got to move it quicker. Bruno Fernandes. Forward to João Neves. Lays it off for Leao. Back into Bruno Fernandes. Puts the ball out wide right to Conceição. Onto his left foot. Delivers it. Header towards goal. Oh, roof of the net. And that is the chance. And Bernardo Silva has missed it as he clashes with an old teammate of Rodri. Not happy with something Rodri said or did. Well, Bernardo Silva not happy. Great ball from Conceição. Bernardo Silva just got too much on it. And 6 yards out hits the roof of the net. Rodri was late to try and win the header. Maybe just put off Bernardo Silva. As we played the 6 and more, and Spain are going to make a change. Borja Iglesias comes on for Mikel Oyarzabal. There won't be long left to play. Unai Simon. To take the goal kick. Out to the Spain left. Can't be controlled by Iglesias. And Portugal have got to get moving. They're throwing it backwards. Incredible. Bernardo Silva to his right to Ruben Diaz. Then to Bernardo Silva again. It's got to go forward. He lays it off behind him to Renato Vega. Forward again to Bernardo Silva. You've got to go forward. This is insane. Tries to go out wide. It's cut out by Yamal. Can't be long left. Thrown back to the halfway line to Vega. Across to Bruno Fernandes. Switches it towards the right-hand side to Conceição. Keeps it in. Goes inside. Big slide tackle from Ferran Torres. Catches his man late. And the colour card will be yellow. And this is going to be last chance for Portugal. Yeah. Did not win the ball there, Ferran Torres. A striker's challenge. Played well over 2 minutes of the added on time. And this has got to be it. Don't think the Spain bench are happy with the fact the game's still carrying on. Diogo Costa's up there. The goalkeeper's joined in. Spain's defensive line on the edge of the 18-yard box. Bruno Fernandes delivers it in. Glanced on and wide. It's agonising. And Spain are through. The full-time whistle is blown in Dallas. And once again, in a World Cup last 16 tie, Spain dump Portugal out of the World Cup. And it's the same scoreline, but this time it's Mikel Merino with the winner. In the 91st minute, off the bench. To once again score a huge goal for Spain. Spain have got to a quarter-final of a World Cup for the first time since 2010, when they went on to win the competition. For Portugal, it's heartbreak again. Losing 1-0 in Qatar to Morocco in the quarter-finals. Now losing 1-0 again, this time in the last 16 to Spain. And in Ronaldo's potential last dance at a World Cup. He's got his knockout goal. But his team, his nation, have been knocked out once more. Looks like that World Cup that he craves will never be his. Looked like Portugal just ran out of steam at the end of that game, ran out of ideas. Spain still haven't conceded in this World Cup. They have not conceded within the 90 minutes in their last 6 World Cup games, because when they got knocked out in Qatar against Morocco after 120 minutes, that game ended 0-0. So they're on an astonishing run of clean sheets and not conceding goals. But in the first half, which had plenty of opportunities for both sides, which included Nuno Mendes hitting the crossbar before the break, and also Spain forcing big saves out of Diogo Costa from the likes of Lamine Yamal, Alex Baena, and also a huge one-on-one chance missed by Mikel Oyarzabal. The second half was completely different. Spain with a lot of possession, but neither team making huge opportunities until the first minute of added on time, where space opened up. Quick passing from Spain, Rodri to Ferran Torres. Ferran Torres found the gap through to Mikel Merino as Ruben Diaz brought himself out of position, and then one-on-one with Diogo Costa, who was able to bury it into the bottom left corner to put Spain through. They had to do some last-ditch defending in added on time to protect their lead, and protect it they did. They found themselves through into the last 8, where they'll travel to Los Angeles, where they'll play either America or Belgium. Huge chance now for Spain to get to the semi-final, where they'll more than likely take on France, but that's not a given. But the path is certainly now clear for Spain. They can set their sights on New Jersey in that final, where they've probably got to take on France in the semi-finals, but they'll just be focused at one game at a time, as Portugal just never quite got going in this year's World Cup, and they fall short once more. Hope you enjoy that live commentary. A bit of a struggle in second half. First half was pretty decent, but we got the goal in the end through Mikel Merino, and Spain are through. That will be the last commentary of this season. I won't be doing any more in the World Cup. I don't think so. But just keep an eye out just in case. I might try and do the semi-final. One of the semi-finals. It depends how far England go because if England do get to the semi-finals, I might try and commentate on the semi-final that isn't England, but we'll wait and see. So it might not be the last one. So just make sure you subscribe with notifications on so you know when the next commentary will be, as there is Cristiano Ronaldo in tears in which could be his last ever game for Portugal, now at the age of 41, turning 42. He's now made 233 appearances for Portugal. And it all could come to an end tonight. But I hope you have enjoyed. Make sure you like and subscribe if you have not already, as here in Dallas, two juggernauts of Europe came face to face. There had to be one winner, and it was Spain who grabbed it late. Mikel Merino in the 91st minute, slotting home into the bottom left corner to send Ronaldo and Portugal packing. They go to the last 8. Spain are victorious as it finishes here. Portugal 0, Spain 1.